Hi friends, this is Kausal Pandey. Today in this video lecture, I am going to discuss about the offense of theft. The offense of theft has been given in section 303 under chapter 17 of BNS 2023. So in this video lecture, we will know that what are the requirements for this offense, and first of all, we will consider the subsection 1 of section 303 because section 303 contains two subsections in which subsection 1 is about the definition of theft while subsection 2 provides for punishment for this offense. So in this video lecture subsection 1 will be covered. So now we will read. Here it is said that whoever intending to take dishonestly any movable property out of the possession of any person without that person's consent moves that property in order to such taking is said to commit theft. So this is the definition given in subsection 1. And according to this provision, there are 5 essential requirements for this offense, which are: first, the property must be movable. It means to constitute the offense of theft, property must be movable, and it is clear that non-movable property cannot be the subject of theft. Further, subsection 2 says that the property should be taken out of the possession of another person. Third, the property should be taken without the consent of that person. Fourth, dishonest intention to take property. And last, fifth, there must be some moving of the property in order to accomplish the taking of it. So, there are 5 essential requirements which are mandatory to constitute the offense of theft. First of all, now we will understand these essential requirements. So one by one we will take it. First requirement is to constitute the offense of theft, property must be movable. It means non-movable property cannot be the subject of theft. Now the question is, what is a movable property? So, clause 21 of section 2 gives the definition of movable property, and according to this section, movable property includes property of every description except land and things attached to the earth or permanently fashioned to anything which is attached to the earth. So this is the definition of movable property, and in simple words we will understand it. So you can see this picture, and in this picture this is a tree, and this tree is permanently attached to the earth, and according to clause 21 of section 2, when a property is permanently attached to the earth would be non-movable property, and if a property is permanently fashioned to the anything which is permanently attached to the earth, for example this fan, so this fan is also a non-movable property, but when we sever it from the earth, then it becomes movable property. So if this person cuts down this tree, and after that this tree will become separate from the earth, now it may be the subject of theft because now it is a movable property. So if a property is movable, then it can be the subject of theft. So to constitute the offense of theft, property must be movable. Now we are coming towards statement number 2. According to this statement, the property should be taken out of the possession of another person. So it is clear that property must be in the possession of any person. If a property which is not in the possession of any person, then it cannot be the subject of theft. So property must be in the possession of any person. Here one more thing is also important, that possession is important to constitute the offense of theft. Possession is important, not ownership. So possessor and possession are crucial regarding this offense, because in this section it is not said that property must be in the possession of the owner. So ownership is not important. Possessor may be the owner of the property or not. So possession is important, not ownership, and property must be in the possession of any person. Now we are coming towards statement number 3. The property should be taken without the consent of that person. So if property is taken with the consent of that person means who has the possession over the property. So if property is taken with the consent of that person, then this offense cannot be committed, because property should be taken without the consent of that person who has the possession over the property. Fourth, dishonest intention to take property. Dishonest intention is the gist of this offense. If a person takes the property but he has no dishonest intention, then he would not be liable for this offense. So dishonest intention must be present in the mind of the offender. So dishonest intention is important, and dishonest intention must be present at the time of moving or taking out the property. So dishonest intention is the gist of this offense, and dishonest intention must be present at the time of moving or taking of the property. If dishonest intention is present before taking out the property or after taking out the property, but it was not present at the time of taking out the property, then the person who takes the property would not be liable for this offense, because his dishonest intention was not present at the time of taking of the property. Last, statement number 5, there must be some moving of the property in order to accomplish the taking of it. So the least removal of the property is necessary. The least removal of the property is sufficient to constitute this offense, and dishonest intention must be present at the time of moving of the property. It is not necessary that to move the property very far away. Only the least removal of the property is sufficient to constitute this offense. So if property is moved from its previous place, then this offense becomes complete. So these are the requirements for this offense, and in the absence of these requirements, the offense of theft cannot be committed. So it is clear that property must be movable. Second thing is property must be in the possession of any person. Third is property should be taken without the consent of that person who has the possession over the property. Fourth is property must be taken with dishonest intention, and last fifth is moving of the property is mandatory. So these are the requirements to constitute the offense of theft. In next part, explanation, illustrations and punishments will be discussed. So thank you.